Hey Zoomers, welcome back to World Zoom. So happy you could join me again today. Had a couple requests from long-term subscribers of mine that write a lot of comments, and they said like, okay, Paul, we know, that you've left the Philippines, not really under your own wants and desires, but how about branch out a little bit, do some more Southeast Asia, or since you're in the US, do some more about the United States. So I was going to talk about like why Thailand, or what are some of the great things, because I'm getting sort of a mixed group of questions about the Philippines, about Thailand, and about traveling in the US. As you guys know, I took off about coming on 2 weeks or so. Wanted to get some travel in here in the United States, so I've done that. And I'm curious what you guys think about Orlando, Florida. So I was stationed here at the Orlando Naval Training Center way back in 1989. So that's going way, way back. And the old Naval Training Center, it had everything on it. It had a huge footprint. If you go north from the Orlando International Airport, a few miles basically, that road called Cimarron intersects with Colonial Drive, which is Highway 50. So they run just like that. And the Naval Training Center was just right on the north side. And it just had the acreage that the NTC had was really unbelievable, and unbelievably landscaped and beautiful lakes, high-rise buildings. The Naval Nuclear Power School was there. Electrical engineering program was there. The recruit depot for the enlisted guys was also there. Hospitals, Burger King, McDonald's, bowling, I mean, you name it, it was there. It's all gone. They've closed it all down. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, how could you make a footprint like that disappear? So I spent some time driving around on the old NTC. You can't tell. I mean, now it's housing. University of Central Florida's got a footprint there. I mean, the whole thing has changed to the extent you would have no idea that had been a really large military base at one point. So I was so surprised at the change, of that area going around Orlando here. And I was equally surprised as just the change of the makeup of that specific area of Orlando. Very heavy on the Hispanic side now, all the way up and down Cimarron. Everything is in Spanish. All the businesses are Spanish. Even going a little bit back into town on Highway 50, Colonial, I noticed even some of those pretty wealthy areas historically aren't so wealthy anymore, and have started to change over with the influx of the Spanish that have come into Orlando. It really was just a joy. I don't know if you ever like that, to go back to places that you haven't been to in years and years, and just look at the areas. I mean, if you had told me there'd been a military base there, if I hadn't been there and stationed there, I wouldn't believe you, because all the growth of the trees are very mature. The shrubbery, whatever they tore down, a lot of those buildings are gone. Some of those buildings, as you know, with the U.S. military, were just huge in that respect. So I had to go down and check Celebration and Kissimmee. That's a pretty cool area. That's historically been where you can find your shorter term hotels. It's also, Disney, Islands of Adventure. Those are all the theme parks that are down on the southwest side. So that's a fun place to be able to hang out. But that was always the place if you wanted some cheap housing. Don't get me wrong, there's some wealthy areas there, but the majority of it's pretty cheap, inexpensive housing, lesser priced hotels, weekly rentals, monthly rentals. Those type of properties are down in that area. So if you're coming down and you want to do the parks, or you want to just be in an area that has easy proximity to downtown Orlando, that would be a good area for you. If you're interested in getting on the highway quickly and heading down to Lakeland and Tampa, it's right there by I-4. You can get on in a snap and head down and check out all the things that are going down in Tampa, which I did do. What a great city, that is. Sometimes it can be tough to get around Orlando, but Tampa's still, pretty wide open, and there's so many different areas there to explore. You can spend days and days in that area, and it's just a nice setup. So Orlando itself, one I think pretty cool thing about Orlando is you can get to the Gulf, the Gulf, and you can get to the Atlantic Ocean almost equidistant. So if you want to go over to Daytona Beach, or cut straight over to like Cocoa Beach or Cape Canaveral, any of those areas, you can go directly to the Atlantic Ocean. I would say it's not more than 35, 40 minutes, more probably like 50 minutes going the other way to Tampa. But they have the Beeline, they have the expressway that takes you all the way south going down to Miami. So as far as being right in the middle of the state, which you are, and being able to get from one major city or one beach area, the Gulf, the malls, all the things, it really is a nice place to choose to make your camp. I went out, I enjoy going out and seeing the golf courses and the huge mansions that are out to the west of town called Windermere. You may have heard of that just because Tiger Woods had or has, I'm not sure, but he had this multi-million-dollar home there in Windermere. A lot of athletes, professional athletes and wealthy folks live out in that direction. You've got Winter Garden, which is not as far out, but is also a pretty cool. Dr. Phillips, all those areas that are pretty fun. But if you were going to live there long term, so I guess that's what I'm saying. If you're just on a short term visit and you've got a bit of a budget, you just want to see the place, maybe the Southwest is really good. If you're looking to live there and stay there, or especially if you're bringing your family there, Winter Garden and Windermere are awesome choices. Let's see. Altamont Springs to the north, not too much to the east of Orlando, really. I know once you go well past the airport, it just keeps going and going and going. Which is so noticeable with all these cities now, right? But it used to be, at least when I was stationed there, if you wanted your action, you would either go downtown or go to Orange Blossom Trail. That wasn't technically a red light district, but it was certainly rough and still is rough. I've noticed they built a lot of walkways over the road. People were forever getting squished, hitting the nightclubs, or just thinking, they could cross that multi-lane road going right through, especially on the south of Orlando. And it was just night after night, you would either hear of shootings or people being hit and pedestrians being hit in the traffic. But I noticed now they've got several of those specialty walkovers where you would approach on foot. You go up the stairs and you walk over and come down on the other side. Several cities have them, but that was an add-on since the last time. I've been here, since the time that I was here in the Navy, especially when I lived over in Melbourne. But I didn't get up and check out. I just wanted to see where the Navy base was and check out some of these others. See how seedy Orange Blossom Trail was. When we were in the Navy, we used to like to go to Wet and Wild, which was at that time was one of the most well-known water parks in the country. Just, enormous setup and certainly fun for, friends and outings. My sister would come up from Key West, Florida, and my other sister would come down from northern Indiana, and we would all just meet somewhere in Orlando and do the Wet and Wild and the Disney and the Epcot, and I don't think Islands of Adventure were there then, but SeaWorld certainly was. So there's a lot of fun things to do. It's it's an interesting mix of discounted things, touristy, that type of thing, and also, some higher living, some wealthy type of living. The downtown has changed a lot. It wasn't a no-go zone before here, but now it's pretty lively. A lot of restaurants and a lot of apartments. People have converted warehouses and buildings into sort of a loft type living, and they're not cheap. I was looking at some of them just driving around from there, and looks like they're $1,500 at a minimum and going up from there. And if any of you remember Orlando in the old days, $1,500 would get you a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, pretty nice setup. But just looking at different places in the city, I could easily live in Orlando. It's got the nice weather, right? You get a lot of breezes that are there. They're blowing in. They're a little far from the coast, but if you want a beach day, you're usually going for a beach day. So to get in the car and park on the beach and do Daytona, or go over to Canaveral, or whatever you want to do, or go the other direction to Tampa and Lakewood, both of those are great outings. Dumbfounded at the prices now of the tickets of Epcot and Disney and Blizzard Beach, all the places down there. So Islands of Adventure is over $100 for a ticket. $100. I used to, cringe when it got up into the 40s and 50s. I can't, it's amazing to me. It's now gotten over to 100. So if you're bringing a family of 4, and plus you're doing the parking and doing all the food and the things in those parks. So there's a reason that they call those Disney areas your wallet with legs, is what they would call you at the time that I was going there. So basically, still busy, still packed. There's still plenty of people getting there. So there hasn't been the pushback. So anyway, I don't pretend to be an expert in Orlando. So my total time living here was about 18 months. So if you want to school me or let me know what you think about Orlando, I'd love it. And if I can answer any questions, to you, I'd be more than happy to do exactly that. Extended stay Americas are down here. So if you want to get a place, you could easily get, $46, $47 a night to be able to stay in the extended stay. And for me, they're great. They're super nice, and you have the breakfast, and it's just real easy place to travel and spend your time. So anyway, from World Zoom, I appreciate you guys. I'll take you out and about. We'll see you soon. Take care.